everyone. So the next topic which we will be discussing here is about the lymph. So lymph, it is a fluid that flows through the lymphatic system. So it is a fluid that flows through the lymphatic system. It is a system which is composed of the lymph vessels and intervening lymph nodes whose function like the venous system, which is to return the fluid from the tissues to the central circulation. So in this we will be discussing about what is the lymph here. So if we talk about the lymph, so lymph is a clear to pale white fluid that circulates throughout the lymphatic system. The main role of the lymphatic system is to act as a filter against the microbes, organic waste and other debris. So if we want to understand clearly what is lymph, then lymph is formed when there is an intestinal fluid. So lymph is formed when there is an intestinal fluid, the fluid that lies in the interstices of all the body tissues that is gathered through the lymph capillaries. Now, as the lymph, it is being derived from this lymphatic or intestinal fluid, its composition frequently changes as the blood and the surrounding cells repeatedly swap over materials with the intestinal fluid. So it is usually alike the blood plasma. So you can say that it is usually alike the blood plasma, which is the fluid component of the blood. So lymph returns the proteins and also surplus intestinal fluids to the bloodstream. Now the next we will be discussing about the composition of the lymph. So lymph is being composed of the lymph plasma and the lymph corpules. So what are these we will be discussing here? First we will discuss about is the lymph plasma. So lymph plasma is like that of the blood but has a lesser number of calcium, phosphorus and they have a high glucose concentration. Mostly globulins, that is the globulin proteins that are present are in fact are which are actual antibodies are found in the lymph plasma. So these globulin proteins which are the actual antibodies, they are found in the lymph plasma. Further, like other substances include the organic and the inorganic substances are also found in the lymph plasma. Now the lymph corpules. So lymph corpules, they are the floating, amoeboid cells. So the white blood corpuscles, which is the leukocytes, which are typically lymphocytes. So there are red blood corpuscles and platelets that are not present in the lymph. So they comprise of the leukocytes and the amoeboid cells. Now there are lymphoid organs as well. So lymphoid organs, they are the organs that secrete the lymph. So there is a lymphoid organs that secretes the lymph. So in addition to the lymph nodes, thymus gland, tonsil, spleen, they are added to the lymphoid organs. So in the body, the largest mass of the lymphoid tissue is the spleen. So the largest mass of the lymphatic tissues is the spleen. Now there are few other components of the lymph that are being described here. So what are the components that consist of the lymph? So the components are carbohydrates, lymphocytes, keratin, water that is of 94%, urea, chlorides, enzymes, very low amount of fat is there, proteins, albumins, globulins, and fibrinogens. And there is a non-protein nitrogenous substances also. So these are the other components of the lymph. Now, there is a diagrammatic representation which is showing the components of the lymph. So what is the composition of lymph here? So as you can see here, there are components which are described here. So there are fats, glucose, amino acids, water and ions, oxygen, tissue and fluid. There is water, carbon dioxide and other waste products as well. There is a high blood pressure here. There is an arterial, capillary and venule which has a low blood pressure. And this is the lymph vessel which return to the circulation. So these are all the composition of the lymph. Now what are the main functions of the lymph? So the main functions are it keeps the body cells moist. So it will keep the body cells moist. It transports oxygen, hormones and other and nutrients to different parts of the body and removes metabolic waste from the cells. It transports antibodies and lymphoids to the blood. It also maintains the composition of the tissue fluid and the volume of the blood. So there is absorption of fats from the small intestine through the lymphatic vessels, and it also prevents the invasion of microbes and other foreign substances inside the lymph nodes. So the overall conclusion of the functions of the lymph includes it performs the role of a middleman that transport food materials. So it will transport the food materials, hormones, oxygen, etc. to the cells of the body and brings other metabolic wastes such as the carbon dioxide from the cell of the body to blood. So then it finally empties them into the venous system. The venous system which was being depicted in the diagram in the previous slide also. So the cells of the body are maintained moist in the lymph. So the cells are moist in the lymph. Lymphocytes are produced by the lymph nodes, and lymph takes antibodies and lymphocytes from the lymph nodes to the blood. So lymph, they also help to destroy the attacking foreign particles and microorganisms in the lymph nodes. It transports and absorbs water soluble vitamins and fat from the intestine. So the villi, they are the lymphatic capillaries that are present in the intestinal villi. It brings hormones made in the endocrine glands to the blood and plasma proteins, macromolecules manufactured in the liver cells. It sustains the volume of the blood. Once the volume of the blood is reduced in the blood vascular system, the lymph purifies from the lymphatic system to the blood vascular system. So this was all about the lymph. So these are some of the references. Thank you.